Kate, would you like me to introduce? Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping on and joining us this morning, afternoon, evening. I know we've got people right around the world today, and that is so exciting to have you all here. Thank you for taking the time out to have a listen. My name is Talita Minnie. I'll be hosting today, but I'd love to introduce you all to Dr. Kate Anderson. She is a beautiful chiropractor in New Zealand who specializes in pediatrics and also women's health. And she's now doing a neuroscience degree or studying that area as well. I'm really excited to introduce her because she knows how to explain what we're going to talk about sustainable health in so many different ways. You know, we know life can be busy and crazy, and so we want to find the most sustainable ways to look after our health and address root cause issues. So, Kate, I'm going to pass it on to you and you can share your information. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I was talked up. Hopefully I'll do a good job for everybody. But yeah, so sustainable health, I think sustainability is something that we talk a lot about, like in this modern world. And it's almost one of those words that we don't even really, it kind of doesn't mean anything anymore because we talk about it so much. So to me, sustainable health or all health, health is a lifestyle. And it means that we can't just do something for a week or a month or even a year and then expect amazing results and amazing health from that. We need to create sustainable, healthy habits that we do every single day. And in order for this to be effective, we need it to be time efficient. We need it to be easy, but we also actually need to see results in order to stay disciplined and to keep that motivation going. And so that's something that I am really passionate about, is breaking down healthy habits into just really like easy bite-sized chunks that everybody can do. And so health is it's a huge topic. So when I think about health, I think about quality of life and how well we function as we get older. So my personal story is that my parents died young. And something that's always been on my mind is how I can make sure that my health is the best it can be and that I'm not a victim to my genes. And so their deaths threw me into a healthy lifestyle that I still live today. But after having my own children, I noticed that my health just wasn't as good as it should have been, considering all of the things that I do and that I have been doing for the last 15 years. And so I started looking, it got to a point where I started looking for alternative solutions to work. So as Talita said, I am a chiropractor and I see a lot of babies and I see a lot of stressed out, burnt out mums. And I thought it was work that was burning me out. And so I found this company online through another chiropractor actually. And I watched the videos and I read the science and then I ordered the products and it all just made so much sense to me. And then after about a week or so, I realized that I didn't feel burnt out anymore. I didn't need to stop practicing. I didn't want to stop practicing. And it all just came together because my body was finally functioning as it should be. And I was finally able to feel the effects of this healthy lifestyle that I've been living. And so we can change our genetic potential, and we all have genes in our body. And they don't necessarily have to turn on. We don't have to be victims to them. And it is the environment that makes them turn on or that makes them turn off. And so for health, there's three main things that we need to think about. So it's not so much, what's happening externally to us is really important, but it's actually what's happening inside our body as to how well we can have, like how big our buffer is against all the stuff that's happening outside of us, if that makes sense. And so we need our cells to be functioning properly. We need energy, internal cellular energy, in order to do everything we need our body to do. And we need our gut to be working properly. And there's a lot of talk about gut health these days. And our gut has been known as our second brain. So it's really important. We've got over half our immune cells there. A lot of our neurotransmitters, the little chemical messengers, are made in our gut. And so, yeah, that's a big missing link as well. So less than optimal health, when we're feeling the effects of less than optimal health, we're basically just feeling the effects of being old and getting older. And so this is things like tiredness and fatigue. We can start to have chronic health issues come up. We can start to feel really stressed, and the effects of stress, or having what I call a wired and tired brain and nervous system. We can get digestive system issues like leaky gut or IBS. And all of the stuff that we're eating, all of the lifestyle that we're doing is just still not enough to stop us from aging. So even though we think about it as the way we look, it's really what's happening on the inside. So it's how slow or how fast we're aging that's actually determining how healthy we are and how much of a buffer we have inside our body versus what's actually going on outside of us. And so that aging process is to do with this thing we called oxidative stress, which is a big word that sounds fancier than it is. It's really just wear and tear. So we cut an apple open, it goes brown. It's the exact same process that happens to our cells. But these free radicals, we call them the free radicals that attack the cells. So they're just completely normal parts of digestion and of metabolism in our body. And so we can exercise and we get free radicals. We eat something and we get free radicals. It's just a byproduct. We can't avoid it. It's completely normal. But if you think about the number of free radicals that are produced from, say, eating an organic apple versus a bag of corn chips that are full of GMO and inflammatory oils like canola oil and MSG and other flavorings, there's going to be a big difference in that outcome. And so it's those free radicals that cause the damage to our cells and that start to cause this tiredness, these feelings of being unfocused, of being stressed out, of lacking energy, and it ages us. And this is what kind of clicked it for me, is because everything we are trying to do to impact our health is we're trying to address inflammation, right? So everything, inflammation is the root cause of almost every illness and disease that we have. And so we're doing all these things to combat inflammation, but we actually need to take it back a step further because it's oxidative stress that causes the inflammation in the first place. So yeah, oxidative stress is in the food, our water, the air, if we exercise either too much or too little. It's in our Wi-Fi's, our Wi-Fi signals around us, medication, even some supplements can actually cause oxidative stress when it's the same exact thing that we're actually trying to get rid of by taking it. And this oxidative stress impacts pretty much every organ system of the entire body. Nothing really escapes. So it really is just a byproduct of living. And so I tossed up whether putting this in because I think it's really overwhelming when we think about all of our toxins that we're exposed to. But I do think it's important to just kind of put it into perspective because everything we're doing it's a balancing act. So I talk a lot in practice about this buffer. So we all have this almost like a threshold of where our health is and how much we can actually handle until we reach our threshold. And some people are operating right at their threshold. And some people have quite a big buffer and they're sort of right down here. And so these people can take extra insults to their nervous system. They can have a few more toxins in their environment and they still are operating in a pretty healthy way. But then all of a sudden, like you're only going to be able to do that for so long. Eventually, if you aren't actually bringing that back down again, then you're going to keep coming up and up until you get to that threshold as well. And that's going to be different for everyone. But this day and age, there's just chemicals everywhere. We have it in our air, we have it in our food. We're seeing studies of umbilical cord blood in newborns that have huge amounts of toxins in them. And we don't even know the effects that EMF has yet. But we do know that it crosses through the blood-brain barrier. And we think about our babies and our kids and their little skulls are so much thinner than ours. And so they are just getting exposed to a lot. And so what I see in practice as well is these kids are starting their journey to their threshold is getting a lot faster than it should be. And so a lot of them are bumping up against that threshold much earlier, if that makes sense. And so this whole scale and this whole balance made a lot of sense for me because here I was eating organically, eating really clean. I have zero toxins in my home environment. I have not used chemical cleaning products or any of that for years. We even turn our Wi-Fi off at night. And yet I was so wiped out. And one of the things is I live in a the beautiful Hawke's Bay, but I'm surrounded by orchards that use a lot of sprays. I grew up in the kiwi fruit mecca of New Zealand. So we were just surrounded by kiwi fruit orchards that use high cane spray, which is horrendous. And my dad spent most of his life there. So it's really no wonder to me that he died of cancer when he was 52. So it really is just a constant balancing act. And I think we can stop blaming ourselves. It's not our fault that we feel drained and we feel depleted, and then we feel discouraged when we do all the right things and it's still not enough. And so this is the other thing that got me when I started researching this back last year is, well, can we just eat our way back? Can we just eat all these whole foods? So if we were to eat enough antioxidants to get rid of our daily quota of free radicals, which we produce about 1 trillion, then we need to eat 11 pounds of blueberries, which is 5 kgs. We would have to have 375 oranges or 120 vitamin C tablets, which you might be able to do for a couple of days, but it would get old very quickly. And so, like I said, I was taking all of the things. I was taking a lot of the stuff 3 or 4 times a day in this, like proper little system of my supplement program. And this is just what clicked for me. So I was doing exactly what I tell everyone else not to do. I was taking a pill. I was hoping for the best. And there is just no research showing that long-term supplementation is beneficial to our health. And like I said before, some of them even cause the very same thing we're trying to get rid of, which is those free radicals. And so this is where it all started. So this whole thing of activation versus supplementation. So I told you I couldn't make a dent in my fatigue and my anxiety until I found out about this product. And this is where it came from. So I'm going to go quickly, because if you're not completely sciencey, I love science, but if you're not into it, then it might bore you a little bit. So a scientist discovers this enzyme, and then he spent his whole career learning how to fight the effects of free radicals. And he discovered a pathway we all have called the NRF2 pathway. Then he discovered how to activate the pathway. He told everyone that he found this pathway and that he could lower oxidative stress. And they didn't know the impacts of this on the body, but they knew that it was underlying disease and inflammation. So ABC found out about the scientist saying that he could reduce people's oxidative stress. They sent in a journalist to try and prove that he was just a quack. He took a blood test, he took Protandim, he took another blood test, and he proved the exact opposite of what they went in for. So at the end of this period that he was taking it, his blood was indistinguishable from that of a newborn baby. And so this is what got my attention. When this happened, it sparked this huge flurry of research, and major universities and medical centers started self-funding research on this. And if you know research, and if you have been exposed to science before, you know this barely ever happens. People just don't pay for their own studies unless they know they might be onto a really good thing. And so this is what we're talking about. So it's this NRF2 activation. So our body has this pathway that actually produces antioxidants. And at the age of around 25, it starts to switch off, which is around the age I started having my babies. And no wonder I felt so tired and I couldn't actually get back to where I was and pre-baby age. So we can either take an antioxidant, so one molecule of that will get rid of one free radical and then the body gets rid of it. Or we can actually turn on that pathway, and this pathway neutralizes the free radicals and gets rid of them at a rate of 1 million to 1. So we can either take antioxidants or we can make antioxidants. And the analogy that we often use in our team is that you can either try and put a fire out with a garden hose, or you can put a fire out with a high pressure fire engine hose. And which one would you rather? So until LifeVantage, there was no solution to effectively lower oxidative stress. There's no amount of fruit, vegetables, antioxidant potions that will help to protect our bodies against these free radicals. And again, this is what got my interest, is that you don't have to trust us. You can actually go to PubMed, so pubmed.gov, and if you type in oxidative stress and just see the disease processes that it's the root cause of. So you have things, it affects every system in our body. So we have diabetes, we have chronic fatigue, chronic inflammation, cancers, rheumatoid arthritis, MS, migraines, headaches, like it's everything. And so at the time that ABC report aired, everyone knew that it was important, but they just didn't know how important it was and how we could actually impact our health with this. And so I recommend everyone do this. Actually go to PubMed, search oxidative stress, and then actually also search for protandem as well. And you'll see 22 or more now, I think, peer-reviewed studies, and there's over 122,000 results on this. So it's hugely impactful. And now we can understand how important this is. We can actually keep looking into it. So this paper is another one that we love, that NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine, which for a natural product, that's a really big call. So this is what we're talking about. Protandem NRF2, it is the world's first NRF2 activator. And in 30 days, you can lower your oxidative stress by 40%. It's also been shown to increase glutathione by 300%. So if you are in the know and you have been keeping a tab on natural health at the moment with the current climate that we're in, you'll know that glutathione has been a bit of a buzzword, or you might have heard of its precursor, NAC. So people are taking NAC supplements. Here in New Zealand, we actually haven't even been able to get NAC. They've all been kind of held up at the border. So again, it's supplementation versus activation. So we can actually activate our body to make this glutathione, and we can activate this NRF2 pathway so it can make these antioxidants at a much higher and more efficient rate. And then the other thing that I liked about this is, so with all of these ingredients, I was actually taking all of these things, but I wasn't getting the results that I was when I started taking this. And this is the synergy. So this company loves synergy. And so it's the same ingredients, but we need much less of them. And so this means that it is more absorbable. So our body doesn't recognize it. When it's in high dose, our body can get a little bit stressed out by it. So that doesn't happen to our body. And then the synergy of them all acting together means that it's that combined effect of all of them is much greater than just the sum of its parts. So that was a lot of info, but this is the main stuff that I think is important. So we're not supplementing and we're not taking antioxidants. We're literally switching on pathways so that the body can do its own thing naturally. And the cool thing about this is that it is patented, and you can only get patents if your product does what it claims to do. So that's having well-functioning cells. We need to make sure that we're addressing inflammation, like the root cause of everything. And then the root cause of inflammation is oxidative stress. And the other thing that we need is energy. And so LifeVantage saw that there was this pathway to activate for oxidative stress. And so they went looking and thought, well, maybe there are other pathways that also lie dormant, and maybe we can activate those. And they found this NRF1 pathway. And so NRF1 is basically mitochondria. There's not a huge amount, I can't shorten it, the word too much, but mitochondria are just your energy factories of your cells. So every cell has them. If your mitochondria don't work well, you don't work well. And so again, it's activating. So we want the energy to be produced by the cell as opposed to being fed to the cell. And mitochondrial dysfunction is one of the biggest causes of that brain fog, so like baby brain, and chronic fatigue. And it's pretty important. So we have 2,500 mitochondria in a regular muscle cell. And then in a regular brain cell, we have 2 million. So that's why if we start having declining levels of this, we get the whole memory fog, brain fog, and we can get chronic fatigue as well. And our ability of our body to actually repair things and recover is decreased. So this is our NRF1. So we want to enhance energy levels naturally. So it's energy stress response. It's really good for the stress response, mainly because of its effect on the brain and on those neurons. And it's an extra layer of antioxidant defense as well. And so again, we're not just supplementing with these herbs that you can see down the bottom. We're taking them in a synergy to activate these pathways, which in turn repairs and regenerates these mitochondria. So the main thing with this is we're talking about cellular energy. So this is a sustainable energy source. We're not going to go up and then crash down again, which is what we do with other energy producing supplements or energy drinks or even coffee. It's a sustainable, so it's going to build up over time, and then we're activating this pathway, and you're going to keep on feeling the benefits of it for the full 24 hours, as opposed to just 1 hour up and then crash down an hour later. And of course, this company is all about synergy. So when taken with the NRF2, they increase the effectiveness of each other again. So the next thing is the gut. So we've got healing inflammation at a cellular level, healing the energy source, again, at a cellular level. And then we have the gut. And so this is all my neurofunctional study at the moment is focused on the gut. So I can talk about this, but I won't talk about it for hours. The main thing we need to remember is that the gut is like our second brain. So there are about 70% of our immune cells are found in our gut. Our neurotransmitters are found in our gut, and including our serotonin. So this is our happy hormones. And I have, again, taken almost every probiotic that's available in my country. I have access to all of the practitioner products. And I have had, the only one that's come close to this, to the effects that I've had with this one, was about 5 times the price, and I just couldn't be on it for a long time. And so, finally, just noticing the little things like, so hormone balancing, mood, anxiety, as well as just general digestive health. And the reason why is because it's all, again, they've just put so much technology into it. So these probiotics are time released. And so there's one layer that is time released to be delivered into your small intestine. And then the next layer is designed to be released into your large intestine. And so you're actually getting the culture where it needs to go. Most probiotics are destroyed by stomach acid, and they've done some studies. So about 4% of those actually get to where they need to go, whereas this one is more around the 60% mark, which, I mean, 60%, it might not sound too showy, but compared to 4, it's huge. And so because, I mean, I said I was paying about 5 times this, so quality probiotics are really expensive. And so if you're going to invest money into something, you want to make sure that it's actually working. And of course, again, they just want to add in this extra little bonus for you, is that they've added in this, it's just basically a complex carbohydrate, but this specific one, so it's the beta glucan, and they are known for placing your immune system into a heightened state when they are metabolized by those immune cells that are found in your gut. And so it's boosting your immune system without overstimulating it. So you're not adding unnecessary stress to your system. And if you're thinking that your digestion is fine, remember that your gut is your second brain. Neurotransmitters are made here, immune cells are here. And so other ways that poor gut health can manifest is poor immunity, hormone imbalances, anxiety, moods, mental illness, poor sleep, and memory as well. And so again, we can stack it up, and it's designed to be an all-rounder. So it's designed to get the most you can out of your health without having to stock an entire supplement store. And this is, again, my personal story around this, is it was just, you take it once a day and then that's it. I don't know, I've been on so many programs over the years just to try and get my energy back. And it's, take this one with breakfast, but 2 hours away from this one. And then you need to take this one on an empty stomach. And then you need to remember to take this again at lunchtime. It's incredibly, it's just not sustainable, as well as eating all these right things. So yes, we still eat a healthy diet and we still are toxin free, but you literally can just take this once a day and then that's it. And the other thing is that we've found is that our threshold, so we're living way further down on our threshold now. So we can actually have a day off and I don't have to deal with the chronic digestive stuff for weeks afterwards. My daughter can have a little bit of gluten or dairy, which she's been chronic intolerant through her whole life. And she doesn't flare up in eczema anymore. So we've got our thresholds back down. And this is because we have been healing and addressing the root cause of what's been going on for us. And the other thing that I liked is that I don't like to stress about whether or not something is working. And this is where the science comes into it as well, as this has been proven to work in all mammals. And so you can literally take it and you can just trust that your body's going to be doing what it needs to do with it, because the body is intelligent, it's designed to be well, and we should have that buffer to deal with the odd treat day or a night out or a night of disrupted sleep without having to suffer for weeks afterwards. We're designed to be resilient, we're designed to be self-healing and self-balancing, and this just really helps to bring it all together and enable that, what we call as chiropractors, innate intelligence, to be expressed. I think that's all I wanted to say. So I'll pass it over to you, Talita.
Thanks so much, Kate. I love listening to you. I'm learning information as you're sharing. I really appreciate it that you've jumped on and shared from a chiropractor's perspective, because my story is a bit different. I'm actually a mum with 3 boys, and my boys have definitely been, I guess, the journey that I've been on. My oldest son with his, he has some neurofunction issues, and also we've got epilepsy as well, and a few other things. We've kind of been on this journey of trying to find sustainable solutions that will impact and help us. And so when we're taking supplements, you know, we sometimes know they work and sometimes we don't. But when you see a difference in what you do, you know it's working because your life is better. You seem to cope better with stress. You seem to be able to react better to things. And so what we found was that as we started our family on this journey, my husband started sleeping better. Interestingly enough, he was also exposed to a lot of chemicals in the agricultural industry. So we did have a lot of that brain fog and a lot of the inflammation issues that can be caused by those things. And so learning about oxidative stress really was the key to us learning more about how can we address these root causes. Thanks, Kate. I know for my family, it's been a journey. We've been on this pathway for probably over 4 years, nearly 5 years. And as we do these things, we realize that, you know, we can keep this to ourselves. We can share with people if we want to, but we can keep the information to ourselves. And I actually started to see that not only was it my family that was struggling, but I had friends and in our circles that were also struggling. And so I decided to not only keep it to myself, but I started to share with others. My son with his journey saw a big difference in his health. We saw his focus and concentration at school improve. We saw him starting to learn more and concentrate more at school. And so we knew that this wasn't just for me. This was me, stepping out and saying, you know what, I have friends who need to hear this information. And so I looked into becoming a referring partner because the company made it possible for me to be a distributor or a customer at the same price. You know, there was no pressure from them to do a certain thing that didn't suit us. We could actually come in at what suited us and the flexibility that we needed around our family to make a change. And so as we decided, the differences between being a customer and a distributor was that I can be a customer. There was no fees to join. There was no cancellation fees. I can choose monthly orders at my choice, and the free shipping was a part of, depending on the product and the country you choose, was a big positive. But then I started thinking about family and friends, and as we mention to your best friend or mention to your mom and your auntie or whoever you're still talking to, you realize that, you know what, if I were going to share this, I might as well just send my referral link to them and they can try the products and see if it works for them. And so this journey from being a customer as a referral link, you have a customer referral link you can send and you can give credit and also get credit for giving. But then you can actually look at this as an option to share with people and make it a business. Now, I love showing this window because it's very different. It's very different to what we're used to with the whole concept of sales. Being a referring partner for me meant that I could utilize the time that I had, the flexibility around my schedule with my children and my husband, and I could share using a very clever system that the company had developed. They've got an app that will help you build your business or share with people. All the tools are set into place. And so all I had to do was invite people to take a look at the information. And I love to see myself as an educator rather than just sales. And so I was educating people. And I guess, the concept of Airbnb and Uber and Instagram, they've all become monetized because they had an app. And so the company knew that if you can find something simple enough for anyone to use, you can build a business. Now, LifeVantage have been around for over 12 years, and I love seeing that the validation wasn't just in the science, but actually the company. We're headquartered in Utah, we're publicly traded on NASDAQ. There's only 13 companies who trade on NASDAQ. And out of those 13 companies, we're the only company who's ever been recognized and rung the closing bell of NASDAQ, which means that the science that we actually have and the validation on the products is secure. It means that the financial position of this company is secure and the fact that we're debt free. So I took this as a really good positive for me to start sharing with people. And as we started our journey, we experienced the products. And then we started experiencing stories of friends and family and how it changed their lives. And it's like a good book or a movie, when you start sharing, people love it and they love seeing the differences it's making in their lives. And so if you have a look here, this is actually our average annual earnings disclosure statement. So because we're traded on NASDAQ, you can see what the company does. Now, this may not be for you right now, but I want to invite you to take a look because at the time, my husband had just finished an apprenticeship, which is a traineeship. We were quite in debt trying to catch up with life. And we didn't have solutions for me to go back to work because he was working away. So I saw this as an opportunity to, first of all, afford our products. And secondly, it was an opportunity for me to share with others. And thirdly, it created an opportunity for freedom. It's been 4.5 years we've been building this business. And as we shared with people and started seeing lives changed and other people wanting to do the same, we've been able to create freedom. My husband is home full time and we want to go traveling this year. So now I get to partner with a company who has solid science, has incredible stories that go with every single person that tried these products. And the best part is we change lives. So for me, when I saw this, it wasn't just for me, it was for people around me. And seeing that I could actually make an income on educating other people on the root causes of their health was a big thing. So how do you get started? If the business or even the bulk products seem like something that you would like to try today, you can become a customer and love the products. Or you can invest into your business and purchase a bulk pack. The company actually gives you a discount on these product packs. Now, I've chosen the 3 favorite packs out of each country. And the reason these packs are the favorites is because you get to trial a range of our products. All our products are clean and natural. They actually turn on the same gene pathway on the external as on the internal. So your skincare and hair care systems, they actually turn the same pathways on and they reduce oxidative stress on the outside of your skin and your hair. You also get to experience the brain energy drink in the US that we have, or even, we've got some incredible probiotics, but also omegas with vitamin D3, which is really important right now for a lot of people's immune systems as well. So these packs are a once-off purchase, but they invest into the business. You will have to purchase one of these packs. You can go lower, there is a lower option, or there is actually a bigger option if your family wants to go bigger. but it's a great way to invest. And the best part is you get everything with this. So I didn't know much about business when I started. I didn't understand, if I had to set up a brick and mortar business, it would take me a lot more money and a lot more time. And so for me to be able to do this from home in the flexibility of what I had, the company has everything set up, all the legal and compliance, all the marketing, all the ways that you need to earn your income, everything is set up, and they provide an opportunity for every person at every level. So as I share this with you, I'm just going to encourage you that if this is not for you, this business, then that's okay. You can be a lover of the product. Our customers pay the same price as distributors, and you can just refer people, because you never know who right now is in a painful situation with their wealth, with their finances. I know there's a lot of people right now who are looking for ways to earn an extra income. And so for me, this gives me hope that I can offer people that solution in every circumstances they have. But I want to thank you all for joining us. I've jumped through the business slides quickly, but we actually have a business community and a product testimony community that we can share with you all and tag you in some information if that's for you. But I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen, because we're going to open up for questions. Kate, are you able to answer some questions for us? So I know I did read on the screen that we had one question from Kylie. And she said, could you talk a little bit more about leaky gut and the links with oxidative stress and how this product helps leaky gut?
Yeah, so this is it's a big topic, because leaky gut or intestinal impermeability there are so many causative factors for it. You can go onto PubMed and you can find the research if you want to, and just type in, so you wouldn't type in leaky gut, you'd type in intestinal impermeability and oxidative stress and inflammation. So it's threefold. So the cause of leaky gut can be that it can be regulated by those neurotransmitters, those signals in the gut. It is regulated by our microbiome, so how good of a environment our gut is. And it's also regulated by our brain. So the brain-gut connection is really strong. And all that happens, so leaky gut is literally the cells in the gut that should be linked together like that. And then when they're under stress or inflammation, they start to come apart. And then all of the stuff from the gut that should be a closed circuit goes out into our bloodstream. So the way, it's really long, the way that oxidative stress helps addressing oxidative stress is that leakiness, it happens when the digestive system is under stress. And stress comes as a result of inflammation. And so these little cells actually get stressed out. They're trying to there's needing extra energy to actually absorb and assimilate nutrients, and so it pulls apart to try and to draw the energy from holding these cells together and to trying to process what's going on in the gut, if that makes sense. And so if we can address the underlying, so it's the inflammation, in short, it's the inflammation that stops it, as well as I would do all three. So the NRF1 helps with that cellular energy. So it actually is giving those cells that energy to be able to hold firm and to hold really strongly stuck together like glue. And then the probiotic as well, because if your gut microbiome is not strong and is not healthy, then you're not going to be getting the signals to hold those cells together. Does that kind of make sense? Does that answer your question? I don't know. Do you want to just comment if you want me to go into? It's so huge. I'm happy to talk to you about it, like specifically if you want to, just like off of this, as it also depends on, how long it's been going on for, if something specific triggered it, or yeah. So it's a personal thing as to what the underlying cause is, but in general, it is inflammation, which we want to address the oxidative stress for.
Yeah. Thanks, Kate. The second question is, can you start with one item and add others, or is it best to use all three at one time? I'm a heart patient as well as a liver problems.
You want me to answer that?
Well, I can actually, if you like. So what I want to just really highlight on our information today is that we're not going to be able to claim to treat, cure, and prevent disease. Only pharmaceutical products can do that. So what we want to do is educate people on how to address root causes in their cellular health, which will eventually help the cells stay healthy and actually deal with the things that are going on. So when you're asking, is it best to start with one and then add the others in? I would say that's probably something we can personally talk to you about depending on your situation. I know people are very individual when it comes to health. But what I do know is that if you're on medications, it's definitely between you and your doctor or your pharmacist. We will never recommend to go off or anything like that. But what we can say is that we have some great people or great responses with addressing these root causes and their liver health and their heart health. We actually have over 3,000 medical professionals a part of this company because of that exact reason. We've got cardiologists, we've got cancer doctors, we've got lots of different people, internal medicine doctors. Dr. Kate Anderson's joined us because of the research that is behind the products. So if you have any specific question regarding your health in the sense of liver or heart or anything, it's definitely worthwhile having a conversation with the person who invited you and going from there. We have seen, as Jillian has mentioned also, that NRF2 is an incredible liver tonic and cleanser. And the heart studies we have is actually done by American Heart Association. So the Skin Cancer Foundation, the American Heart Association, Institute of Anti-Aging, they've all done research on this product and then published that research on PubMed. So there is incredible validation as well. Amy, you've asked, I have Crohn's disease and on biologic medications. I'm assuming leaky gut situation is similar. I really want to come off these intensive meds. Yeah, that's a big one, isn't it? Did you have anything to share on that one, Kate?
I think Crohn's is almost less complicated than leaky gut because it really is an inflammatory condition. And there's quite a lot of studies on NRF2 and oxidative stress and Crohn's as well. So yeah, that's if you want to go and search for some.
Thank you. Perfect. All right. Well, if no one has any other questions, we might finish up for the evening. Please reach out to your person who invited you and just give us feedback. We love feedback. We love hearing what you loved about it, how you learned more. But we want to thank you all for jumping on and giving us your time this evening and this morning. I know it's Friday in Canada and the US, and it's Saturday morning here in Australia and New Zealand. So thank you all for jumping on. We really appreciate it. And please reach out and let us know what you thought. If you're interested in trying these products, we can send you a link to the products, or even jump on a call and talk about the business more into why Kate and myself have partnered with this company. Thank you so much, everyone.